Hi, this is Giselle Thompson, and welcome to the Live the Life You Want speaker series. Here, you'll learn more about practical ideas and strategies on how to overcome adversity, be happy, and live the life of your dreams. And the reason I wanted to do this series is because myself, I was in not such a good place several years ago, feeling invisible in my life, a series of roles and functions, but I kind of lost sight of the things that made me happy. And through different experiences, to embrace more of who I truly am, learn to reconnect with the things that make me happy. And I'm truly on the path of living the life of my dreams. And today I want to introduce you to Coach Sherry Winn. She has an incredible life story. She's been an Olympian, she's a coach, she's inspired many people throughout her life. One of the reasons I wanted to interview Coach Winn is because she had overcome a lot of chronic pain. And my husband has been experiencing a lot of chronic pain since we've been together over 20 years. And I could resonate with that, and I was curious to learn more about her, how she's overcome that, and how that might be able to help you deal with those things, or if you're living with someone who's dealing with those things, help you work through that. And anything else that she is keen to share with us about being a winner in your life. So thank you very much, Coach Winn. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to talk and to share, to influence and impact the people who are listening today in hopes that they hear something, one thing that might bring them more joy or happiness or peace.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be working with you. So today you're going to talk to us a little bit more about your experiences overcoming adversity. Could you just give us a little bit of the lay of the land of what you've been faced with, that you've needed to overcome the adversity in your life? Broad strokes, just to give people a bit of the context.
Oh, broad strokes. Okay, so some of the things that have happened to me is in college, I'd always dreamed of being an Olympian, and my first year as a college athlete, I was a bench warmer. I rode the bench. I never got off the bench hardly, never got into a game. And 3 years later, I'm from that place, and 3 years later to an Olympian.
Wow.
The other thing that happened to me was, my very, very first job, 3 years. My very, very first job as a coach, I was fired. So, and not, I don't know how many years after that, that was National Coach of the Year. So,
Wow.
you go from the bottom of being fired to National Coach of the Year. The third thing was the chronic pain deal, where in 1996, I developed this incredible chronic pain that no doctor had any kind of, they had no title for it. They just called it chronic pain because it was been there for a long time. I had no idea what it was. And for about 5 years, I couldn't sit, stand, or walk without intense pain. So it was so difficult to go to the grocery store. To push a cart through the grocery store was too much for me. I couldn't make it, that long length of time pushing the grocery cart. I couldn't go to a movie theater and sit down to a movie because the sitting was so painful, and I couldn't stand to be in that kind of pain. So it was really extremely disruptive. I mean, there was not much that I could do it pain-free. And I spent about 5 years in that space before, getting better and better and better. I mean, now I can sit, stand, and walk. I can't run, but I'm older, so that's okay. That might be due to all the wear and tear I had on my joints from training so hard for so long. And the third thing is I was very depressed as a young person, extremely depressed, and on more than one occasion, sat with a gun underneath my chin, deciding whether or not I was going to pull the trigger. And now I'm I'm an extreme optimist. I believe in all possibilities, and I believe that we can achieve great things in our lives. So, when you talk about overcoming adversities, I think that I've got an edge on that, a corner, or at least an idea of what that feels like. And I understand the challenges of the pain, the hopelessness that people go through when they go to a spot that they don't think that anybody could possibly understand their pain. Maybe I don't really get exactly what it is, but I can understand the gist of the feeling of hopelessness and helplessness that somebody feels.
So what is it about what you've experienced that has taught you about being happier in your life?
Well, I think first of all is that happiness has nothing to do with your exterior, whatever's going on exterior, from your exterior outside. And we want to believe that happiness is something that occurs to us. It's a person that loves us. It's an event that happens. We want to believe all these things. And none of that's true. I mean, the truth is that happiness really occurs from inside. It occurs from the belief that you're worthy. It comes from the belief that you are loved and that you are loved. It comes from the belief that that goodness is going to us, and if we don't understand it. It comes from a different set of beliefs that you can attain, that anybody can attain, no matter what you're doing. So it's really, we tend to look life, we look at life in a periscope, and we only see this little small section. And so we interpret, our life through this really small lens. And I believe that all things that happen to us are for our own highest good. And so because we don't get that total picture, and we're looking through such a small lens, that we get trapped in believing other things. But I truly believe that. I think that we're on a journey, and that we're here to grow, and we're here to extend, and we're here to become enlightened. And, this is just all a part of that process to help us become a better person.
Okay. So my understanding is that you do a lot of professional speaking to universities and a lot of different organizations, and you also work as a coach with clients. Could you tell us more of the practical, concrete ideas and strategies that you use to move from feeling the feelings of helplessness and hopelessness to feeling, like you said, to have that more self-esteem, more belief of happiness within you? What are the pieces of advice that you give?
Well, number one is that my favorite two words in the universe, the words I am, because whatever you say after those words becomes your truth. And most people have no idea of the language they're speaking to themselves. They have no idea of the constant negative adjectives that they use about themselves. So the first piece is to examine, what are you saying about yourself all the time? What words are you using? And most people, I do a little 1 minute in my speeches. So when I do my Unleash the Winner Within You speech, and I really try to work this in whatever I'm speaking about, because it's so powerful. But I have people partner up, and for 1 minute, you use the words I am, and the next words out of your mouth have to be positive and true about you. So one person's listening, the other person's speaking, and you would be surprised at how people can only come up with 6 or 5, or how some people start crying when they realize that their internal language, that they don't have anything good to say about themselves. And how that's impacting, because if you're saying to yourself 1,000 times in a day, I'm ugly, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm too fat, or I'm crippled, or whatever is the language that you use. If you say that 1,000 times and then you expect a different outcome, it's not going to work. I mean, it's that imprint that you're downloading every time you say that. So the very first thing is very practical, is start using positive language, I am, and have a set of affirmations that you do every morning, or remind yourself throughout the day, I am beautiful, I am, if you can't say anything else, I'm alive. I mean, like start somewhere and find something good. I do a meditation in the morning, an I am meditation that starts my day, helps me feel amazing. I have to be reminded. I need to be reminded every day, and I do this little meditation that helps me start my day. So a very simple shift in the language that you're using, and becoming aware of your internal language, and really paying attention to that, and shifting that can shift you in a huge direction.
And you mentioned sometimes when people do this exercise, they get very emotional. So how do you help them to the next step? So the audience today is listening to this, like, okay, I'll try it, right? And then, okay, now what? So let's prepare them.
Well, you can do it. It's very simple. You can write down 10 I am statements after just 10 I am. And, if you can't say like, I'm beautiful, can you say, I'm cute, or I'm okay, or whatever it is that you can say to yourself that feels true to you. If you can write 10 statements down and just start with those 10 statements and repeat those 10 statements every day until they feel true to you. You can't start from if whatever your belief is right now, if you say like, I'm fat, and you can't go from I'm fat to I'm thin because you're not going to believe it. But if you can say, I'm still beautiful, or I'm still beautiful to me, or I still have an internal beauty, or I still have whatever it is you can say that is true.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel that enough, it's the feeling connected to that will start shifting you.
Okay.
Right? So you can't say a word that doesn't feel true to you. It won't work.
It won't work.
It's got to feel true to you.
Yeah.
But the more you say words and the more you connect with them, the more they become true to you.
So I'm going to just fast forward in this time frame. And so person's gotten used to saying I am. They're using very positive internal language. Fast forward to I am living my dreams. What I learned about the power of I am is ultimately we're creating, whether we're saying the negative words or the bad word, the good words, we're creating what we find around us.
Absolutely.
So what's very powerful for my, and I see that you've experienced that too. What's very powerful about the word I am in a positive way, but it works both ways if you really observe it.
Mm-hmm.
I am living the life of my dreams. I am doing X, Y, and Z. So could you just, in your experience, applying it as a master now in the positive creation of the life that you want, what are the things that you mentioned a meditation that you do. What are the kinds of things that you're using it now as a master? I am creator positive.
Yeah. So I start with, in the morning I meditate. I always spend time on that. That's my connection to my higher self. It's my connection to all that I am and all that I want to be. And so quieting your mind is a huge thing that you can do. And then allowing, when I say I am, I start with this: I am love, I am loved, I am loving, right there. And my next 3 ones are I am forgiven, I'm forgiveness, I am forgiving. And I go, I am worthy, I am worthiness, I am enough. But then when I finish my meditation, at the end, I visualize the person that I want to be, but I don't visualize it as if I'm going to be there someday. I visualize it as if I am right now. And so I use that I am, and I'll start with I am abundant, I am abundance. I see myself living in abundance, feeling how that feels, seeing me drive up. I will have this idea that I want this brand new blue Jeep Cherokee that I want. I see myself driving up in my blue Jeep Cherokee to my house, So I see, I visualize the things in my head as I'm saying. And I connect to the feeling. You have to feel it. If it's not connected to the feeling, you won't believe it. And so, anything that you can connect to that, any belief, any smell, any sound, so I make it real. Like I'm driving behind the Jeep Cherokee, coming up my lane, my driveway, up to my house, music, dancing to music. Everything. And so the closer you get to that, the better it feels to you.
Okay.
And it's just it's a consistency. I love my meditation in the morning when I start with my I ams, and I feel them going, like really rolling through my body like a wave, just rolls through me. And I feel it from my head all the way down to my feet. And it's such a pleasant feeling, when I go through these things. It's just so powerful when you can feel that good, when you're connected, to your higher self and to the power of I just like to say love, because I don't know a higher thing than that. I don't know a higher power than that. So love.
Yeah, I understood. And you talked about earlier feeling, hopeless and depressed. Do you feel this is a tool that has really helped you overcome those feelings and overcome the chronic pain in your life?
I think that the more you connect with what you want to be, the more you connect with that, the more you believe that it is yours, the more you believe that. And you know this because I just talked to you before this about how much you read. It is so important to, how did I move from depression? I started reading. I bought self-help books. I started journaling, right? I started getting to the truth of it. I started admitting who I really was and why I was doing the things I was doing. I, became more aware of me. And I read. And one of the things I do every morning too is sit down and I read something positive. I put that, we're so infused with negativity. It's everywhere. And if you're not ingesting it, if you're not looking for it and ingesting it on a daily basis, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it from television programs. You're not going to get it from the news. You're not going to get it from friends, unless you have really powerful friends who are really cool, right? But a lot of people are going to talk to you about all the negative. As soon as I finished this speech, I did this great speech just 2 weekends ago from tailspin to Olympian. And I had literally droves of people coming up trying to share their story with me, sharing how they're hurt and what their parents did to them and what they felt like. And they wanted to share with me that they felt that. They wanted to share that. And I'm like, okay, so now what are you going to do? Where are you going to go from here? Like, now it happened, where are you going to go? What are you doing to it? And so I'm saying, like, how many times they told that story to themselves? You know this.
Yeah.
What we do, something bad happens and we tell the story over and over and over again. And then we want ourselves to be out of the story. We can't because we're living it, because we tell the story so many times.
Yeah.
We have to get out of telling the story so we can get somewhere else. And only when you could tell this, I waited so long to tell this new story and this new speech because I didn't think I was out of the story yet. I didn't want to be in that story if it was gonna remind me of all the things that I had not yet forgiven. I had to work to get beyond that in forgiveness, so I could share. But so many people don't forgive; they just want to tell the story, and they don't want out of the story. They just want to share the negativity of it. And so we're surrounded by the negativity of television and of people all the time. You have to ingest positivity. You have to do it.
And what you just said, that's what I was alluding to earlier. It's you're reinforcing that story, right? I mean, this is what you're saying. And this is what I was learning about the power to create in either direction. I'm reinforcing the story, whether it's going really bad or really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the job. I just didn't realize that I was doing the job.
Exactly. I had a player of mine, and I recruited her. I was so excited. I was a basketball coach for 23 years. I was so excited about this young woman. Talented. But when I got her, she had so much negative language in her. So she would go down the court and she'd make a bad pass and she'd scream, "I suck." And then she'd go down the court and she'd miss a shot. She'd go, "I suck." I'm like, "Sarah, get in for Courtney." So Courtney would come run out, look at me, and she goes, "Coach, how come you took me out?" I'm like, "'Cause you suck." Right? And we laugh about that. But the truth is what we do to ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, she's screaming, "I suck, I suck, I suck," but she wanted to make a good pass and she wanted to make a basket. But she's telling herself she's not any good, but she wants these great things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that to ourselves over and over again. And so we have to tell a different story. We have to create a different story.
I know.
And see a different possibility.
Yeah.
Or to see even, looking back, like how a story we once thought was so harmful, we can look back at the story and see the good things that really came from that event. How that event made us grow, how it changed us. Sometimes the worst thing that ever happened to us becomes the best thing that ever happened.
Well, I would say I am grateful for the experience for learning more about myself, but that's it.
Well, that's good. That's a good
as far as I'm willing to go.
But look at you laugh and smile. What a beautiful smile and laugh you have.
Thank you.
I mean, we've talked just for a few minutes and you've laughed and smiled. And I will tell you that most people don't laugh and smile like that, right? A child laughs like 450 times a day. An adult does it 15 times. on average. And so you've already, beaten the number and just
In the last half hour.
your whole daily allotment you blew in like 10 minutes.
Good to know. So 50 laughs a day is a good start.
Yeah.
Laugh a lot, relax on the story that you tell yourself, like really cut yourself some slack.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's the one thing? I know I did a pretty good summary there, but I want it in your words. What's the one thing, if people forget everything about this interview because there's a lot of information here, but they can remember one thing, what is that?
That I am.
Okay.
I mean, if you just start changing your I am statements, be aware of what you're saying to yourself, because whatever you say becomes your truth. The more that you say it, the more it becomes your truth.
Okay.
And being aware of those words and languaging that you're using for you, and tap into changing that to where it feels better for you and creates a better outcome for you. You have to feel it before you ever become it.
Yeah.
It won't happen if you don't feel it.
Yeah. Okay. That's excellent. That's really good. Thank you. So you were telling me that you have a gift that you would like to share with the listeners today.
I do have a gift. So if you love the interview, if you heard something that tapped into you or got you excited or give you some hope today, you can go to my website, www.coachwinnspeaks.com. There's 2 wins in Winn. www.coachwinnspeaks.com. Go in there, go to my contact, shoot me an email. And what I'll do is I'll give you a free 45-minute coaching session. We'll talk about, maybe discovery of your I am words, or how do you manifest? Where do you want to go from here? Set some goals for you, whatever it is that's mostly on your heart and mind. And then I'll also send you a free book. So, and you can choose. I have a book called Unleash the Winner Within You, a Success Game Plan for Business, Leadership, and Life.
Wow.
And also just there's a new book that's called Burst, and it's creating new possibilities within yourself.
Wow.
So it's a guide and apply book for life. Those people who are looking at themselves and trying to figure out questions about why I am still where I'm at and how can I get beyond that. So
wow.
Love people. Love to share.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Coach Winn. I really appreciate you taking the time for this interview today.
Thank you.
Much. Thank you. And I would like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank everyone who tuned in today to listen to Coach Winn share her experiences and the things that she's learned to help you live the life that you truly want and that you feel deep inside is there for you. Thank you, everyone. And do tune in to more interviews all around this topic of overcoming adversity, being happy, and living the life of your dreams. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.